this thing exploded in my head where I realized I can make awesome stuff. I don't have to wait for my agent or manager to call me. I can literally pick up a camera, turn it on, press record, and make something dope. Saw the business side of things. I realized I could keep building this and eventually shoot movies, and then I can hire myself as an actor and never have to audition again. What we pulled off with the money that we had is just unheard of because of the resources that we have. Every single person from cast and crew didn't volunteer their time for nothing, but they definitely came in way less than they would normally get paid because they believe in myself, they believe in mixed media, and they wanted to help us transition out of music videos into narrative. For me, I know that I'm not gonna get a commercial by trying to go out and pitching myself for a commercial. I'm gonna get a commercial because I go and shoot one. Totaled the vehicle, insurance wrote us a check for the whole cost of the vehicle. So now we have like our beater van and then our nicer grip
sick.
truck.
You ever take that thing off any sweet jumps?
You know, the draft of the script that we shot with was finished 3 days before we started shooting. I would have rather gone into it right away when I did, be able to leverage the finished product of it sooner, because then I can get to the next step in my ladder quicker. As an actor, I was constantly hoping that somebody would give me an opportunity. And I love the idea that we're in that driver's seat now. I work with a lot of film students, and I just love being in a position to give the chances that nobody gave me. The principles or the morals or the things that you stand for doesn't only show in your art, it shows in the people that you create art with, because it's domino effect, and it's that approach of like influencing the influencer.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 94 of the 505 podcast. Today we're welcomed by a very special guest. We got Jordan Tortorello in the house. He just got done working on his first feature-length film, man. He had 17 days of production. Not as many days of pre-production. And we're going to find out in this episode how that whole process and what that was like.
I also think it's so cool because so many of the guests that we have on are so focused around social media, content creation, and he's making like full-length features. I also loved what he was saying, how now he's in a position to give actors like opportunities and other filmmakers and just people who work in the industry opportunities to work on set and bring his community together. And because he started as an actor and now he's behind the camera. So I just think that was like super cool, like mindset.
And dude, like you said, like social creators are like, oh dude, I'm chefing the movie. And Jordan was like, no, I'm actually making a movie.
Well, you did. He
like,
brought in some
feature.
tech.
Right.
What do you bring?
Oh, dude. He comes in with a mega box, dude. And you know, if it's a big armored box, you know there's something nice in there. Sony Venice, dude, with the Rialto system, which he explains very nicely in the episode, which we should get to.
Dude, so I actually, though, I got to go stretch.
Oh, yeah, first of all.
Tonight is the most important day of my life.
Yep.
And we have a softball championship to go to. And everyone was invited to, by the way.
We have a squad coming.
We're rolling deep to the game.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling insane, like
Do you
a prime
need like
Mookie Betts.
Third base, first base coach or anything, dude?
No, I'll be out third base as well.
Okay.
If I'm gonna do some, I for sure. Listen, here's the deal. If I don't get at least like a couple diving catches, I might slow. The other day,
slow down.
They call me Showtime.
Hell yeah, dude.
I saw a ball that was like easily could have trotted and caught it, but I'm like, let me take a couple little slow steps and then just full layout dive. And they're like, you didn't need to do that. I'm like, I didn't need to do it, but
so are you like do we have high likelihood that we're gonna see you hit a home run?
For sure.
You're gonna hit a dinger.
Yeah.
90% sure in this game?
90% positive.
I'm going to go nuts if you do.
If I don't, last night...
Is there a fence or is it just like inside the park? It just keeps going.
It's so unfortunate because there was a fence at our old field and I used to just drill it into these trees and they just be like, yeah, that's a gun.
So now you got to run
the chain.
No, and so in the other league too that we play in, you just hit in the parking lot and the Blues just like, yeah, and they got like a little air horn like, beep, 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 beep.
Yeah.
This league doesn't have an air horn, but we're going to have the crowd, so that'll count, you know? And if you hit it and it's short grass, it just goes, dude.
So you know if it's a dinger.
You'll know. Yeah, like if I'll hit one tonight and you'll just nod and I'll just nod back to you. And I'll just
we need to go get some bubble gum and some sunflower seeds.
Yeah. Some Big League
and some Gatorade.
And some of that jerky dip. You know what I'm talking about? Remember that back in the day?
The
jerky.
That was funny.
Yeah, they just have
I'm gonna be sitting behind the ump like as close as I can be, and she'd be like, "Are you kidding me, Blue?"
I need that from you.
Yeah, I got that.
You really rattled the other team tonight.
Yeah.
It's a huge night. But hey, let's go. Let me go stretch. Let's get into episode 94. Come on, Jordan, give me the one-handed crack. Start us off strong.
Do we go left hand or right hand?
Whatever feels right. Whatever your natural hand is.
There's a dent already, pre-existing dent.
Where's it at?
Please, everybody note that.
And like in there.
Okay.
Yeah,
I see it.
All right.
I see it. The committee's aware. Oh God.
Oh, this is
started
bad.
so
This is
slow,
no, this
too.
is bad.
They're hard, dude.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right.
And
Okay, we got
Big Dan.
we got Mars.
Yeah, that's
Mars
Yeah,
crater.
Mars crater on the side. We're gonna lob out a 2-9. Welcome to the show, baby.
Good to have you.
Presented by
Seamless.
Leisure Hydration.
Yeah.
Let me show you how it's done.
oh, that was nice.
Wow,
Wait,
that was
waterfall?
good.
I tried to get Costas. I might have cheated actually.
We're just splashing the whole table.
Oh, but dude, I got a big dent.
Just
I
a
keep getting
huge
these
dent.
dents, bro.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
Yeah, you definitely won that battle, my friend. Welcome to the club.
Wait. Only I get a score. You guys don't get scores.
This was about an 8-8. This was a 7-9, and that was like another 2-5 right up there, right there with
All right,
you.
all right.
So,
Come on, Costas.
you know,
Down at the bottom.
battle on the bottom. Yep.
It's a canon thing. Let me see. Being on top.
Yeah, what do you think?
Dude, you just gotta.
Well, that's good.
You walked in
Yeah,
with
that's tasty.
with a new camera. You got bored and just said, "I'm just gonna flex on
You
us."
actually
and-
walked in with a giant two-handed box.
Yeah,
is
I
what you
did.
walked in with.
I admittedly couldn't bring it up on my own, and Costas had to come down and save me.
What did you buy?
I bought a Sony Venice, and I bought Sony Rialto, which is an attachment for the Venice, as some of you know. It is the coolest piece of camera tech ever created, and it allows you to separate the sensor block from the camera via a fiber optics cable. So you could throw the body itself on your back in a backpack configuration and then hold just the lens on your hands.
I think we need one of those for the podcast.
Yeah.
Dude, so I didn't know that's what it was called, but I saw this on a shoot where they had the robo camera thing. And so they had this just literal lens, and I was like, this doesn't really make sense. I see the Venice on the ground, but this isn't making sense. And now you're telling me it all is clicking now of what was going on.
It's really cool. And the fact that nothing else exists, it just feels that much more special to have one.
It's one like Red doesn't have something like this. Nothing.
Nope.
They don't got the nerds, dude. They don't got the right
Shout
nerds.
out Sony.
So on Top Gun, they strapped the body of the camera to the bottom of the plane, and then they put the Rialto inside the cockpit, because we've never actually been able to fit a camera inside of a cockpit before. Because when you have the body, the batteries, the monitor, the Teradek, the lens, that thing's huge. The cockpit, it's like the Navy was super strict, or the Air Force was super strict on exactly what they could put inside.
Right. I mean, dude, it'd be scary to have like a giant rig in there. I feel like you'd be like, oh, sorry, pilot, fuck.
He just goes out just right out the window.
And
You know?
you were telling us you use that on your movie, right?
Yeah, we did. So a lot of people use it for car mounts. So you don't have to put the entire body on the back of the car. So what we did is we put the body inside of the back seat, and then we ran the cable along out the window through the top of the car roof and then onto the back, and we had the Rialto. So it's just a much smaller, more lightweight rig instead of putting the entire camera body.
Was this something so did you rent it for the movie that you shot?
Our DP owned one.
Or your DP?
Our DP owned one.
Flex.
And I just don't love renting. I like owning the tools to do the things I want to do, so I don't have to rely on people. And now we got one.
Let me ask you this. Will you rent it out now, or will you just keep it for yourself?
I will.
You will?
Yeah, I will rent it out. So my philosophy and sort of business plan with owning equipment is have the tools to make the productions that I want to make, and then help people in my network make productions of that scale with equipment they wouldn't normally be able to afford.
And so what
That's
would
sick.
Yeah, that's a
I love that.
genius idea. What would a project cost to rent out the Venice kit if you wanted to?
I would say body, no lens, like anywhere from $1,500 a week to like $2,000 a week on the low end.
That's awesome.
If you go to like a rental house, they're going to charge you a lot more. But if you go to independent owner ops and rent it from them, like via Share Grid or something, that's the going rate, I'd say.
And you got good insurance on this thing.
Yeah, you have
best.
to.
Yeah.
You have to.
He's not leaving his car in LA to like hang out for a couple
I mean,
of-
it's literally a down payment on a house.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
car.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a
it's-
car.
it's like
You
a
have
nice car.
Yeah, you got a Tesla that's like hanging out with us like to the side of the thing.
Right.
You pulled up in a pretty sweet van though, and you got two of them.
I got two of them. Yeah.
You're a van guy? Like
Not like van life kind of guy, but
like
when
grip
you own a
truck
lot
guy?
of, exactly.
Way
So-
cooler, by the way.
Yeah, way cooler.
Yeah.
Except for this one I pulled up in is like our beater van now. It was the first one that we owned, and then a month after we bought it, it was in the parking lot of a shoot we were doing, and somebody just smashed into the side of it. Honestly, I think maybe like the kid was driving, like a 5-year-old kid. It was crazy.
That's awesome.
Anyway, it totaled the vehicle. Insurance wrote us a check for the whole cost of the vehicle. So now we have like our beater van and then our nicer grip
sick.
truck. So
You ever take that thing off any sweet jumps?
from time to time.
Some off-roading?
Wow. Do you rent out the van too? to
I rent
people?
out the bigger van. Yeah. So the
Okay.
bigger van is a 3-ton, which is a metric to measure how much equipment is in there. And it's got lift gate, it's got carts, off-road lights on the outside of it, LED lights, and that guy we use for all of our shoots, and then we rent it out as well.
When did the obsession with the gear kind of come into play? Was it when you were living back in Arizona, or was this something when you came out to LA that you're like, this is a business that I want to get into and start?
So I've always been a tech geek. I don't think they're public on YouTube anymore, but I used to make review videos on like iPhones and do unboxings. It was Jordan T reviews.
Check it out.
So me and my best friend Hudson, shout out Hudson, we would build computers together and like pre-order iPads together. So I've always been a tech guy. And then when I started shooting, I was renting equipment frequently, started buying equipment, realized I could make money renting it out. And then from there, every single expense became a justification, because I'm like, well, babe, we can rent it out. Like, yeah, I understand it's expensive, but we can make money off of it.
It's a write-off.
It's an appreciating asset. You know,
I appreciate that, man. I'm like, I geek out on gear, but I don't think to the level of you, because I feel like you got like so much different stuff. I'm like, I got maybe an iPad and one camera, and you got everything.
I mean, no, I see you guys got the aperture units and some Matthews C stands.
That aperture light's
Sammy's
holding
camera
on.
bags. Let's go.
So that aperture light is being held on by one of these cords. So I Shitty Riggs called me, and I made him a video for it. So I strapped this around the top, and that, do you see it? Do you see under there?
It's fucked.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
So Aperture, if you're
call,
listening.
dude, call us, please, for love of God, because we can't really send the light in. We need the light every
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
It's a huge
Bro, I
debacle.
think you guys got to just buy a new light.
I don't know. I think it's just holding up just it's got at least 2 years left in the tank before that thing falls off.
I will say though, Amaran, which is their like more consumer level product or side of the company, their lights are so affordable. They're like $300, $200, and they're great.
Yeah,
they're solid for this type of stuff.
I have one of those tube lights, the Amaran tube lights. It's fucking dope.
Where do you feel like the rental business is going? Because I've talked to some people, and some people, like me and Chase used to rent from this guy in Burbank, and he has like an insane business model. He's crushing it. But then I've talked to other people that I went and rented from on ShareGrid, and they're like, yeah, it's tough for us to really get off the ground because these new cameras are coming out, new lenses are coming out, and then they're not able to pay off the current thing. They got the FX3 and they're not able to pay it off, and they're like, shit, well, I still owe like $2,000 on the FX3 and
I gotta buy the FX30.
I got FX30 now. It
It
just came out. That's what everyone's wanting. So what's your experience been like with renting gear in LA?
It is difficult because these companies are coming out with stuff more and more, like quickly, especially Aperture. They're constantly dropping a new light, and the stuff's so affordable that more and more people could buy it, which means that you don't really need to rent the equipment. I think the advantage I have is because I produce projects, I'm purchasing gear for us to use, and then renting it out is a cherry on top. So we've done very well with rentals, and it's definitely been an awesome stream of income. But, you know, again, like I said, being able to use the equipment ourselves and being able to rent it from myself out of the budget of the projects we have, it kind of helps outweigh the downsides of rentals.
I do want to get into your movie.
Okay.
Because when we first met, I meet you and you're like, I got to finish up this edit. I need to submit my movie to Sundance. And that was like, that's like how we met.
Yeah.
So can you tell us about your first feature length film?
It honestly happened really quickly. When I first, I'm going to give a little bit of backstory first.
Please.
So when I fell into shooting music videos, I moved out to LA for acting. I was pursuing acting. I did some social media stuff, and then I bought a camera to take Instagram pictures of me and my friends and other influencers around me. And then I just randomly shot a music video for some friends of mine, and it was really cool. And this thing exploded in my head where I realized I can make awesome stuff. I don't have to wait for my agent or manager to call me to go on set and make something. I can literally pick up a camera, turn it on, press record, and make something dope. So then it accelerated so quickly of shooting music video after music video after music video. And as I grew doing that, started paying my bills doing that, started buying equipment, saw the business side of things, I realized I could keep building this and eventually shoot movies. And then I can hire myself as an actor and never have to audition again.
Boom.
So, we got larger budgets, started working with bigger artists and learning the production side, what directors we liked using. I would sub things out and not direct myself, working with other producers, gaffers, grips, learning how to do call sheets, things that I never paid attention to as an actor. And finally, after 3.5, 4 years of doing that, we owned enough equipment and had a great enough of a network with people we liked working with where we felt comfortable to tackle narrative, which was the goal from the beginning. So we shot a proof of concept for a TV show called Gorilla in November of 2022. And right after we finished that, it just immediately I was like, wow, this is real. Like, we can make beautiful, high production value, a great story with our resources. We got to make a movie. So we used that to get an investor excited about giving us money for a feature film. And then 4 months later, we shot it.
Wow.
Where'd you get the script for it? Did you write it?
Yeah. So I came up with a story with a good buddy, collaborator of mine named Lay. He wrote the script and he directed it as well.
And you produced the whole thing. So 17 days on set. Was that what it ended up being?
It ended up being, 17 after pickups. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
We were originally going to do it in 10. We probably could have.
Damn.
But then we had some various recasting issues like halfway through, some weather. And then we ended up doing 14 days. And then after we shot it, or after we finished editing it, we realized we needed some stuff. So we did 3 pickup days.
Did you have to go back to the investor and say, hey, we have a couple more days?
Yeah,
You
we did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does that conversation go, and what does it look like when, they've told them, hey, it's going to be 10, and now you're like, we might need 14 or maybe 17. How does that kind of go in the feature film
I
world?
wish we could shoot a film for that amount of money. But fortunately, what we pulled off with the money that we had is just unheard of because of the resources that we have.
Right.
And every single person from cast and crew, they didn't volunteer their time for nothing, but they definitely came in way less than they would normally get paid because they believe in myself, they believe in mixed media, and they wanted to help us transition out of music videos into narrative. So what we pulled off for the budget we had was amazing. And going back to an investor and saying like, hey, we need a little bit more money, it's still way less than what you would typically spend for something. So that eased things a little bit. And also, fortunately, the investor's a creative person, so they understood and also agreed in what we needed to do.
I feel like a lot of people get pigeonholed into just shooting maybe music videos with influencers. Let's use that as an example, right? You started in that. How did you, just say, hey, we want to change to narrative films, which is, I feel like, a complete 180 from the influencer music video space. And I feel like a lot of people want to pivot. They might be doing weddings right now. Maybe they want to do brand work. How does someone go about that if they're in a space that they might not be loving anymore?
Yeah, I mean, this isn't fully universal, but I've always tried to put myself in a position where I don't have to rely on a client. Now, that doesn't always work, but for me, if I'm creating the product, then I don't have to rely on somebody that's hiring me because I'm creating it myself. Obviously, then you have to deal with, specifically in feature films, you have to deal with learning the distribution side and how am I going to get it on Netflix? How am I going to get it on Hulu? But, that expression, you build it and they'll come. And I think the same has been true. And I've seen this in my career, and especially doing that proof of concept. It was like, let's just make the best thing that we can on our own and then use this to show other people that we mean business. Commercials. I'm not in the commercial world at all. I'd love to. I think it's really cool. I know there's a lot of money to be made in there as well. But for me, I know that I'm not going to get a commercial by trying to go out and pitching myself for a commercial. I'm going to get a commercial because I go and shoot one. And we've talked about doing a spec together. Like if we build it and then they'll come. So that's what I've seen in my career, and I'm going to continue to do that as I grow.
I will also say the music videos that you've made, like you incorporated narrative pieces into those. So when did that idea, like, okay, I'm making music videos, maybe it's just the song, because you knew that your, I guess, main goal was to get into the narrative piece, where you're like, I'm going to try to weave narrative pieces within the music video?
It honestly, it wasn't as deep or as like thought out as you might think. For me, I was auditioning for movies. I love movies. I love narrative. So as soon as I started getting paid to hold a camera and shoot something, naturally, that's still the headspace I was in. So for me, it was just an excuse to work on narrative type of projects. So in my mind, even though it's a music video, I'm making a short film.
Okay, so that was still...
It was a short film with music, and the artist's song was just the soundtrack for the short film. Okay. So most of the artists I worked with, fortunately, they trusted me to do that. And then every once in a while, you get someone who's like, I just want a performance video. Or you'd get the rapper who's like, I want girls twerking. Right. And I'd be like, all right, sorry, this isn't the video for me.
That's so funny. What during the process from transitioning from the music videos to this big narrative film with all these shoot days, a lot more people, a lot more moving parts, what were some of the biggest things that you learned during that process?
More pre-production.
More pre-pro. Yeah. And how many days of pre-pro did you have?
Dude, I mean, not much, not enough. But I will say this, that we had the draft of the script that we shot with was finished 3 days before we started shooting.
Fuck.
Wow.
So we definitely ran a little crazy and wild with this. And honestly, in a lot of ways, it was run and gun and figuring things out as we went. And in hindsight, a lot of people have said like, well, next time you're going to do more pre-pro, right? Yes, you should do a lot of pre-pro, but for me, I would have rather gone into it right away when I did, be able to leverage the finished product of it sooner, because then I can get to the next step in my ladder quicker. So in hindsight, I wouldn't have taken more pre-production because I probably should have taken another 2 months to do pre-pro. But then that means I'd have to wait 2 months from now to be able to use it the way I'm using it now. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And so with getting into Sundance, what's the process for that like? I've never made something narrative like that that's long. How do you go about it? Do you just literally Google, try to get on this? Like how does that work?
So
what does this process look like?
To be clear, so I'm not misrepresenting anything. We did not get into Sundance.
Oh, okay.
We did not get into Sundance. I am going to Sundance. We did submit to Sundance. And
can anyone submit?
Anybody can submit.
Okay, but you have to get chosen.
You have to get chosen, correct?
Got it,
and they'll let you know whether you get in or whether you don't get in. It's like $100 to submit. They do short films as well. They do pilots, so you can really submit anything you want.
Wow.
But here's the thing I will quickly say is a festival movie in my mind, and I'm newer to this too, so I'm learning as I go, but it is a very specific type of movie. It's a movie that either has some sort of political agenda, or it's, pushing, for some sort of cause, or it's really abstract art unique, or you have some big actor in it. It's an indie film, shot on film, just has a very interesting look to it. In my mind, that's what I think of with festival movies. This is not that kind of movie. And from the beginning, our business plan behind this was, let's make a movie for as little money as we can, make it look amazing, and then sell it for a profit. Because as I'm learning this industry and meeting more people, the first thing an investor asks you is, what's your ROI? How much money have you made on your previous films? Right now, we still have not sold this movie yet because we're just finishing post. So my ROI is 0. So for me, I just want to cross that finish line as fast as possible. Then as a production company, the next thing they'll say is, well, can you make a movie? Can you produce a movie as a production company? Until this is done and out in the world, we haven't yet. So I'm just trying to cross that finish line as fast as possible, so then we can leverage the stuff that we have coming next.
You bring up a good point though, of like, I feel as though sometimes people let great get in the way of like a finished product.
Totally.
Like sometimes like done is better than amazing. And I'm not saying that your film isn't amazing, but I'm saying like the fact that you're like, fuck two extra months of pre-pro, let's like get into it. I want to get this final product out. Like time is like almost your most valuable asset, because it's going to allow you to progress in your career.
Yeah, I agree.
Can you tell us more about the film, what it's about, and kind of like the storyline?
Yeah. So it's a sci-fi psychological thriller, and essentially our two couples, they're a couple, they're a lead, and husband is a biochemist, and he gets a job opportunity out in this really small, weird town. They move out there. He's gone every day for work. She doesn't really know what he's doing, and he goes missing. And while he's gone, she starts meeting the neighbors, and just everything is super weird and off. Just a creepy town. Weirder and weirder things are happening to her. He finally comes back after like 2 weeks of missing, and just something's different. He looks the same, he talks the same, but just something about him is off. From there, things keep unfolding. We find out. Well, I won't tell you what happens, but that's essentially.
It's kind of like a "Don't Worry, Darling" meets like Gone Girl kind of.
Absolutely.
Fuck yeah, I would watch this shit. That movie.
That's fun.
Sounds dope. What was the first day of set like when you're rocking up? You're just like, here we go.
Where was it all at too?
We shot all in Woodland Hills.
Okay.
Oh, sick.
Yep.
Did you have to get a ton of permits for it, or did you have homes that you had?
Yeah, we had so our other producer, Dallas, he owns a house that's got 2 homes on one lot.
Awesome.
So we used one home for holding, and the other home was our picture house. First day of set was amazing. I mean, honestly, every day I'm on set, and this sounds really cliche and cheesy, but I really mean this. I'm like a kid in a candy shop. I love production. I love being on set. I love gear. I love seeing people do what they do. Like, it's all just magic to me. So being able to be on a movie set, and I had been on plenty of movie sets as an actor, but being on a movie set that I am creating and I am pioneering, and people that are showing up for me because they believe in me. Like it was magical. You can't really explain it.
Fucking sick.
Yeah, how many people ended up, did you have to source for it? Let's go crew first and then the talent.
Yeah, crew art. So I'll actually go talent first.
Okay, talent first.
Talent was very small. We had 6 or 7 total, 2 that were playing the entire film, a third and fourth that was playing like half of the film, and then the rest were just kind of like fillers and some extras. Crew wise was probably the like 25 to 30 ish.
A lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of people, a lot of mouths to feed.
And how did your experience pursuing acting, help you on the other side of the camera?
I think you have a more of a compassion for actors, for one. I also, one of the things that's so exciting being on this side of things is, as an actor, I was constantly hoping that somebody would give me an opportunity and somebody would give me a chance. And I love the idea that we're in that driver's seat now, and I want to empower people, and I want to find, like, I work with a lot of film students, helping create some of their short films and sponsoring gear and that type of thing. And I just love being in a position to give the chances that nobody gave me. And as I continue to grow, whether it's friends, people around me, or complete strangers. So does that answer your question?
Totally.
Kind of forgot what your question was as I started going.
No, I think that's just so great. Like being in a position to give someone an opportunity, like however big or small, is just like a beautiful position to be in. And like, that's really cool that you are looking at it from that perspective.
Did you have any moments of like big problems that you had to fucking like fires to put out and shit?
Yeah, I mean, always. And you guys know that it's really not that much different whether you're doing a small music video or commercial or a feature. There's always stuff that's going to go wrong.
Is there anyone in particular?
Well, we had to recast an actor 4 days into shooting, or 3 or 4 days into shooting, we had to recast one of our leads. And
you'd already shot.
We already shot. So we had to reshoot stuff, and people weren't super happy about that, but we made it work. And then weather, and like that was annoying. We had rain that wasn't expected, so we had to bring all of our gear inside.
When you're pursuing acting, when you first get out here, are you getting some acting jobs, or was it more like you were just prepping for a lot of jobs? What did it kind of look like, and where was this moment of the script flipping, saying like, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I'm more destined to be with the camera in my hand, or, overseeing all of these different types of productions.
When I first got out here, it was essentially my 4th year of high school, or my first year of college when I first moved out here. So my parents were very big on, you go to high school for 4 years, then you go to college for 4 years. So I came up with a scheme, a master plan, that I would do online school. I would finish in 3 years. On the 4th year, I'd move to LA. I'd try it out, and then I'd go to college.
I like it.
So I'm still going to adhere to what they want, but I'm also going to do what I need to do. So I did that. I moved out to LA when I was 17, graduated a year early from high school, and I treated it like college. So I was in 3 or 4 acting classes a week. I was doing casting director workshops. I was meeting with managers or people getting their advice on how to build my career correctly, doing literally everything that I'm told to do, or what was believed to be the best trajectory to become an actor. And I started getting some stuff, like small commercials and short films and some student films. And then after several years of doing it, I got like a couple co-stars on some Hulu shows, and I did a small movie, and but nothing huge. I got pinned for some stuff, which, it's interesting. It's like going home. Maybe you guys relate to this, but as an actor, one of the hardest things is going home during the holidays, and people are like, so are you on a movie yet? And for you, the big award is I got a call back.
Right.
And realistically with acting, it's like auditioning is your job, and getting a call back, that's like, oh, you get a promotion, you got a call back. Or, oh, you get a director's session, you got a third call back. And then, oh, you got pinned for a project. And then you might not get it, and you can't think like, oh, I'm a failure. Like, no, you got an audition. Tons of people, thousands and thousands of people were submitted, and they only brought in 200, and you're one of the 200. Then you got a call back, so you're one of the 20. So
that's a brutal world.
Yeah,
Fucking brutal.
It's tough.
My God.
It's really tough.
And were there specific roles that you were trying to go after? Was it like, yo, I'm here to hustle, anything and everything?
Anything my manager submitted me to. But I definitely went out for bully a lot. And I went out for lovable loser. Like in comedy sitcoms, lovable loser was one of my favorite characters when I was pursuing comedy a lot.
It's my bread and butter.
Yeah, let's go. Come on.
Or you're throwing people in the lockers as a bully.
Yeah, either way.
Either or.
I can fight myself, dude, in the school.
What was your living situation like at 17 when you first came out here? Were you living with roommates or were you just
I was, yeah. So I was in a really, really small apartment off Hollywood Boulevard, and I was in a room that was probably like from this wall to this wall, and then a little bit, and a rectangle, so a little bit smaller in width. And it was 3 people in one room. We all had bunk beds. I paid like $375 a month in rent.
That's awesome.
Shit.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah.
That is insane. That's the cheapest I think I've ever heard of.
You can't beat that.
No, but it was awesome. And it was definitely a culture shock because I was living in Sedona, Arizona. That's where I grew up. And it's a very, very small tourist town. Everyone's super friendly. You got a guy who stands on the street who like waves at people, even though he's a millionaire. He just likes to sit out there and do it. And then I moved to LA, and I'm on Hollywood Boulevard, and I'm walking to that LA Fitness every morning at 9 a.m. And I smile at somebody and they're, what the fuck you want? Sorry.
Dude, I got that bad because I came from Minnesota, and everyone says, like, when you walk past someone on the sidewalk, just one person, you usually say, hey, hi, don't know them. And I was walking with my friend Zane, who I moved in with, and I was walking, and this person like walked past our apartment. I was like, hey, and they just like looked at me, and Zane was like, yeah, don't do that. Like, he's like, we're gonna get beat up if you keep doing it. I just couldn't stop. It was like habitually I kept doing it. It was really weird.
Dude, shout out to you Midwest.
Now
guys.
I don't do it anymore.
I think you should still do it.
Now I just fucking shoulder people when I cross them.
Just strip people.
No, you have to continue doing it.
That's funny.
I think it's really important. I think we have a responsibility to help those around us and to shape the way and, lead by example. I could have said that a lot smoother. We have a responsibility to lead by example. Especially in this industry, it's hard. It's a hard industry to begin with, but there's a lot of corrupt, dark shit happening that most people don't know about. And, even whether it's on set and the way that you treat people around you and your crew, or just, on a day-to-day when you go by people, like, don't get thrown off by the fact that you're the only one doing that. Continue doing it. Have a smile on your face. Like, it does go a long way, even if you annoy people sometimes. It's important to do that. It's important.
Hell yeah.
I love you if you say hi to me no matter what.
Got
Just
you,
throwing that out
but
there.
that's a great sentiment. I like that.
Yeah.
Well
agree.
said.
Is the acting dream still alive?
I love it. It's definitely changed a lot. But for some weird reason, I'm 27 right now. And for some weird reason, the mid-30s is going to be my acting prime.
Like John Hamm, dude.
Mid-30s, late 30s, the Chris Pratt, Ryan Reynolds, Ryan Gosling, those type of roles. And then for some reason, even thinking about like my 40s, my 50s, when my business is super set, I'm doing big movies, I'm in great shape, got a long way to go on that. That's going to be my prime. That's when I'm going to jump back in and I'm say, I'm going to star in a movie. I'm going to lead in a
Hell
movie.
yeah. Then you're
For
like,
right now, I'll just hop in where I can, and if it happens, cool.
are you putting yourself like? Did you have any role in the movie you made?
Yeah, I did. Very, very small.
I was the lead, dude. What do you?
Yeah, I'm him.
So the producer and I was the lead.
Yeah, and the DP, and I was the gaffer and the sound guy and the makeup artist. No, so I did. I was originally going to play a more prominent character, but being that it was such a scramble and our first feature, I wanted to make sure it was running smooth, so ended up bowing out of taking that role, and I took a much smaller one, which was fine. It was still fun. But the guy that replaced me, Christian CV, is a beast, bro. And when you watch the movie and you see his character and his performance, I'm really, really, really happy that I did step out, because he brought it to life for sure.
When do we get to see the film?
Never. Fuck. Soon.
Okay.
Soon. Yeah, maybe another couple months.
After you hit the final export, how do you get it like distributed? How do you market it? What's that process like?
Yeah, so I wish I knew the proper answer. I have ideas of them, and fortunately we do have some people in our network that are gonna get it right away. So we have some interest from some smaller networks, but we want to try to get something a little bit bigger. So we have a spreadsheet with like 10 to 12 names and emails, and as soon as the movie's done, it's going right to them, and see what happens with that.
Wow.
This is a random question, but like when you export a movie, like, this is just the way you phrase it made me think of this. Are you exporting just like a ProRes, or like what? Do you know like the fucking format? You know what I mean? I've always wondered that for some reason. Like, are these exporting H.264s?
Just QuickTime.
No, dude, Premiere Pro has a preset, and it
It's
just
called
says
movie?
Yeah.
Really good film.
Yeah.
The big screen.
I should look that up. I just have never proper Googled
Well,
it.
what is interesting about movies is there's a process called QC, which is for quality control, and DCP, I believe is the other title. Someone can correct me on that. But it's a process that films have have to go through before a distributor can greenlight it to actually air on their platform. It makes sure that the color is perfectly accurate, the sound is exactly where it needs to be, the quality is where it needs to be. So I believe that they'll handle all of your deliverables, and that's a service that you pay and you go to. And if you're dealing with Netflix, they might have specific QC people that you need to go to, and then you run it through their program. They'll give you the deliverables, and then it's ready to go to the world.
It's absolutely insane.
And you're also working on another feature.
Yeah. We're what's today's date? Today's the 11th. We are exactly 4 weeks out from starting.
Is that also a sci-fi?
No, it is a thriller, but not a sci-fi.
A thriller based in LA as well.
Not story-wise, but we are shooting in LA.
Shooting in LA. Are you shooting at sets or is it houses? Or?
We're doing a couple of sets, a house. We're doing a car crash scene. So we got a street that we got permitted.
Sick.
We're towing in a crashed, like a totaled vehicle as a double for our actual picture car. We're going to flip it upside down.
Wow.
That's going to be exciting.
How long do you get the street for that day?
We'll just have it for one day.
One day, just one full day, and you'll have it blocked off.
How does a car crash scene work?
Well, we're doing the indie version of a car crash, so we're not going to actually see the car flip. However, you can do that, and they make these devices that a car goes on, and then it has like pistons in it, and it'll literally launch the car.
Some tannerite. You're just a guy.
Yeah, exactly.
The sniper.
Yeah, we got Blake from the Navy coming in today. He's a SEAL.
So we don't have the budget to do that, but we're going to do our indie version of it, which is you'll see the two characters driving in a vehicle, and then you'll see a bright light on them, like it's a headlight, and then they start swerving. Oh shit. And fortunately, it's a flashback, so we'll be cutting back and forth between present day and what happened. So we'll cut back to present day, we see a reaction shot, and then we cut back to the crash, and it's the aftermath of what happened. Cars flipped upside down, guys bleeding, airbags are off, smoke's coming out, sirens, all that type of thing.
Sick.
Wow. Okay.
Imagine sound design does a big lift there.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's sick.
Absolutely.
Little riser coming up. Boom.
Yep.
Goes black.
I don't
You
know,
just hear
working on it.
hear the
Actually,
crash.
that was good.
Smash
Can
the
we use
lid.
it? Can we use
Yeah. I was pretty isolated. I won't do it again. I think they got the
Yeah, no, we got it.
that time.
Okay, so going into your second feature, what did you learn and take away from your first that you're now taking into your second?
Are you doing more pre-pro?
Oh yeah, definitely.
No, he's
Definitely.
the same thing. 3 days is the
3
sweet
days of
spot.
pre-pro.
No, we're gonna hit 5 days this time. Those extra 2 days. Yeah, definitely more pre-production, better food.
Nice.
For sure.
Oh.
What were
Yeah,
you?
better
What was
food.
the food like the first time?
So the original plan was gonna have my mother-in-law cook,
Love it.
and as we got closer to the shoot day and she started buying stuff, we realized, okay, this might be a little unrealistic. So we were scrambling to find places that could accommodate us last minute. So this time, better food, more pre-production, and I mean, we have a lot more money, so that definitely helps.
Yeah, so are you working with like the same investor,
Different investor.
but you now have the movie proof of concept? You come to him and you're like, hey, we made this for this amount. We kind of want to step it up.
Yeah, it's awesome. He's a really awesome guy based out of Atlanta. He's got a production company, does a bunch of movies out there. He's never done a movie in LA, wants to try it out, see what it's about. And he connected with our other director and other producer, and we're gonna make a movie and see what happens.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So will this guy come out and check out the film? Yes, he will. The whole time or just a few days?
He's probably gonna hang most of the time. Yeah.
Okay.
Sick.
Wow.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Just vibe.
Just simply funding a movie. Gotta be.
Do you
there.
have like a whole like video village set up when it's a smaller like an indie, or like, because you don't have like do you have like other producers that are watching as well as like?
So this movie's gonna have we have 2 directors. They'll each have a monitor. And then we'll have a larger video village for myself, our executive producer, and our other producer. Although I'm going to be running around so much. I'm a very hands-on producer. I don't like sitting back and telling people what to do. It's like if trash has to be taken out and no one's there, I'm taking it out. If a light needs to be set up because G&E's falling behind, I'm going to hop in there. So we'll have that, and then our AC will have our monitor. And that's probably, we're doing 2 cams, so we'll have like 2 sets of monitors at video.
You do that just so you have like less shoot days, basically. Speed
Yeah,
up.
so we're doing it ends up being like 5 of our 13 days will be 2 cams.
Sick.
Just because they're heavier moments, more dialogue, so we want to be able to shoot it out.
2 Sony Venices.
No, we are shooting with Alexa Mini LFs.
He's getting choked up thinking about how he's not
I am.
$60,000
Yeah,
camera.
yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be so fun.
Those are so pretty, dude. Such a pretty camera.
Yeah, they are.
Speaking of pretty. I feel like we kind of got to talk about this movie. We were shooting the shit about Saltburn. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it yet.
it's so
You haven't
good.
seen it?
I heard it sucks.
No, I loved it. We all loved it.
Sucked?
Well,
Dude.
I don't know. I just got to check it out.
It's
But
so pretty.
It's so pretty. I thought it was good.
I thought it was fun.
I thought the plot was like pretty good, but it was mostly just like
You-
fucking gorgeous.
you've seen the plot before.
I didn't. Dude,
Goes
here's
to,
the thing.
goes to scary
Wait,
house.
we gotta talk about this.
We can't tell him that. We can't ruin it for him though.
I don't think I can. I think I can say without ruining it.
Okay.
So you know how you were like, Chloe knew what was gonna happen
Immediately.
and I didn't see it coming. That's what you said.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Lena was like, she kept saying what eventually happened, and I was like, that's not gonna fucking happen. So girls can tell, and guys can't tell that thing. That maybe someone's a creep.
I had an inkling. Is that the right word?
Yeah,
I had
an
I had
inkling.
an inkling about like the first bit, but then it kept going.
It's so funny how vague we're talking.
And
We can't. Jordan's got to go watch it.
Sorry.
A24, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was really
It was
pretty
so
though.
pretty.
It was like some of the shot. Most
Yeah.
of the movie felt like photographs.
Yeah,
and,
word.
and not a ton. Was there like any movement really? Not a lot. Very.
No.
there was like
very-
that one really cool sweep. Sorry, there was this one really cool sweeping shot. Remember when they're like at the like pool and it's like
Right.
going all around.
It's also in 4:3 aspect ratio, and I saw
nice.
what's the fucking other? I just saw another movie that's in 4:3. Is that coming back, dude? Like,
What about that wrestling one? Have you seen that
I
one?
did.
Oh,
I
I
did.
wanna see it.
I
wanna see
I liked that.
I
movie a lot.
heard that was awesome.
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
an A24 movie
It
too.
is. It is.
I can't wait to see
dude,
that
I know a
movie,
bit
dude.
about those brothers. It's fucking devastating.
Yeah,
that
it's
story.
it's really sad. It's a really sad.
Oh, I don't think I want to know. But
I heard it's
Yeah.
really good though.
It is. It's beautiful. It looks amazing.
it's a fella from The
It looks
Bear, Jack
amazing.
guy, Zac Efron.
He's too small, dude. He's way too short. The guy he's
Who
playing
is?
is like 6'7". Jeremy Allen White.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The actual guy, the
the
Van Eric.
the
that
girls
he's-
are going crazy,
Crazy
about his
about
Calvin ad.
him. I know,
Yeah,
dude.
dude.
I know.
I can't remember which fucking Van Eric it is, but the guy he's playing is like Thor, like real life Thor.
Wow.
Dude, the guy in Saltburn, when you go watch it, it's not a prosthetic rock, is all I'm gonna say.
No way.
Yeah, it's
Barry Keoghan or whatever his name is.
dude. Packing a hog.
It's
Is
that.
all-
Good
Why-
for him.
is
okay,
all I'm
wait.
gonna say. Is all I'm gonna say.
Because-
I'm just gonna allow. It is
Because say-
not a prosthetic
People
rock.
say this about Willem Dafoe and John Hamm and fucking Barry Keoghan. I don't know. That they all got giant rocks, dude. Is that like a thing that you need to have?
If you're gonna do a nude scene in a movie, they're like, this guy's not working.
Yeah. Is that why you gotta be like, do all actors just have giant hogs? It's crazy. There's so many of them.
No, bro, it's camera angles. You just
Right.
make
Yeah.
it look big.
Yeah,
And
it was
that's
shot
that's what he's telling
It was shot on
himself.
a 9. A 9.
Yeah, the
Yeah, 9 mils.
9 mil Laowa, like low angle.
No, that thing was giant.
Wait, wouldn't that make it look small?
Nah, if you got real close to it.
Oh yeah, true. No, true.
But they definitely didn't.
Dude, on the topic of studios and films being made, you recently had downsized your studio, right? Okay, so we've had friends that have bought studios. We've had friends that love buying studios. They're like, this is the best thing ever. We've had friends that have sold them, and I want to know what your experience has been like, and where is it at in this big city?
Yeah, so I loved it. It was amazing. It was so cool having just a facility that was mine. You know, it was very helpful for the year that we had it because we hadn't done a feature film yet. And to anybody in the narrative space, all that we were was a music video company. And that didn't really mean anything to anybody. It was like pat on your back. Oh, cute. Come back to us when you've actually made something cool. So once we got a facility, it immediately increased our
Perceived value.
Perceived value. Thank you, sir. It immediately increased our perceived value, and people took us more seriously because they were like, "Oh, you have a facility. Oh, great. Yeah, sure. I'll take a meeting with you." So it was really helpful for that. It was cool to bring people together. We did various like industry mixers. You didn't come to one. You came to my birthday.
He
No, you
wasn't
did.
invited.
Yeah, he
You
wasn't
did.
invited.
Your birthday was kind of like an industry mixer.
No, but didn't you come to one before that or no?
I only came to one.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we
It
did.
was full. The list was
Yeah,
full.
the list was full.
Yeah, we did
We were there.
networking nights.
Dude, I'm just not in the industry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Ray
I
and I
can't
were
get
there.
invited to the industry.
We're there.
Thanks,
No,
sir.
all good. Once you
Fair.
guys step up from newer tripods, then
Yeah.
then we can talk.
Slammed
Fair,
him.
that's fair. It's a super fair comment.
No, it was great, but ultimately the deciding point for getting rid of it was we couldn't actually shoot there. It was not sound friendly at all. We had a metal worker on one side and a wood worker on the other
Fuck,
side.
perfect combo.
So, and it wasn't the best area. Sun Valley is like a little sketch. It's
Where's
just-
Sun Valley at?
It's exactly. It's past Burbank Airport.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's minute wise, it's only 5 to 7 minutes from downtown Burbank, but it still is just out there. It's very industrial. So it's not the best area, the cleanest area. We would have often people come for a meeting or a client and they'd be like, am I in the right place? Like, is this a scam? Like, is this guy legit? So with that being said, going into the next one, when we get another one, I know what to look for now.
Oh, so you haven't gotten the second one yet?
Correct.
We're looking
So
for
we
it.
moved into a house. It's a very big house, and it has a massive garage with really tall ceilings. So we just relocated the stuff into the garage plus our third bedroom.
It's a sweet setup.
Where's it at? Where's the house?
Burbank.
Oh, in Burbank too. Okay. Wow.
I think I showed you. Did I not show
You
you the
did.
video?
You did. Yeah.
It's great.
And
You
you're
got-
living in there and you got a studio or sick?
Yeah, it's attached. It's perfect.
That's
I
so
love it.
ideal.
Are you living there by yourself? Or do you have other people that you're working with?
So my wife and I live there, and
My
then
wife?
our buddy,
Someone's got to do it, dude. Someone's got
my
to do
wife.
it. What, you haven't seen that movie, Christ?
It's just so.
You weren't ready for it? It's because I was with my buddies the other day and they do it every time. I just forgot that like you guys don't do it. I'm sorry.
I love it.
No,
love it.
I do that sometimes, which is funny. Oh, that's great. I'm sorry. That
No,
comes.
yeah, you're good, you're
That's
good.
fucking sick.
So and then we live with our buddy Justin.
Okay.
We've worked with him a bunch over the years, but he travels a lot for work. So like right now he's been gone for a month and might get back sometime in a month. So
That's
it works out well.
Yeah.
What are you trying to add to the rental list to keep going? I know we have a huge purchase. Was the tripod included in this bundle?
No. I bought everything individually.
Oh,
so like
okay.
I bought media, I bought batteries, monitor, camera body, accessories, everything piecemealed it.
Just so people know about how much cards cost for a camera like that.
much.
How much are the cards alone?
2,500 each
Each?
for a 512.
How
yeah.
many did you cop?
I have 6.
Oh.
I didn't buy them new. I bought them used.
Yeah. But that's
yeah,
how much
That's why
they
you gotta
cost.
buy Lexar.
No, dude, it was like,
Lexar? way
Lexar
better deal.
needs to make a Venice card.
Yeah.
We'll talk to her.
Yeah.
dude. When we had our Reddit, it was insane. We were spending like $1,500, $2,000 on cards.
Because you were in charge of like accessories, and I'm like, Brayden, I don't know if we should be spending $3,000 on cards, bro. Like my last card was like $200.
Dude, they're just
But they're
expensive.
expensive.
Yeah.
They're just so expensive,
What
dude.
for your main camera that you're using? What cards do you have to use? Not for
Yeah.
these.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for these?
Dude, yeah.
You use this to shoot your stuff too?
I rip these for everything.
Okay.
Dude, the
It's a tip.
C70 is such a tank and it takes Lexar SD cards.
Okay.
Which is insane. And I don't ever fill them up at 4K. Never.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Ever.
amazing.
We had a Komodo for a period of time and then we sold it. It was just like kind of a pain in the ass to lug around and it took like a minute and a half to turn on and it would have to be turned on the entire fucking day.
Yeah.
It made me so mad, dude.
You know who we sold it to? Young Gravy's music video guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he makes all
that's
Young
who,
Gravy's
That's who we
music.
sold it to?
Yeah. His name's Adrian Kirshner. He's a good guy.
You know what I want? I want the Burano.
The Burano? Yeah, I considered getting a
do
Burano.
did you hate it?
Does that got the Rialto shit on it?
No, it doesn't. So
That's why you didn't
What's
do
the
it.
point?
you could get a new Burano for a similar, close to the same as a used Venice.
Why would someone get the Burano? I was just like, it looks pretty to me.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
looks fun.
So, look, I'm not super technical expert with some of the tech specs and whatnot, but what I've been reading is that the Burano is like a juiced up FX9 and it doesn't really know where to fit. So the type of project and budget that you would normally need to bring on a camera that expensive, you don't need autofocus. You don't need some of the various things that camera has.
It's like a beefed up FX9. You're so right.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it's awesome. The fact that it's got in-body stabilization and a cinema camera and it's got autofocus is super tight and the image is going to look awesome. But
It's really interesting. Sony, dude.
They love cannibalizing their shit.
Yeah, they love that.
yeah.
Was the FX3 just the Sony Venice at this point? Like it's just like there's
No, seriously, dude. That
It's crazy.
The FX3, they did you see they shot the creator on
I did,
yeah.
bro. I happen to have a video that's got like 1.5 million views talking about it.
Yeah, you're doing these podcast trips. Are we getting a full episode?
I don't know.
You're just teasing
I don't
people.
know.
You're just doing clips only?
So
I kinda
yeah,
like
so
that. That's funny.
Here,
Power move.
I'm gonna give some pro tips away real
Okay,
quick.
tell us.
So I wanted to make a podcast, but I don't have the time to make a podcast. Which might be an excuse. This is a different conversation. So instead of committing to doing a full hour-long episode, I just did clips because a lot of people don't even see the full length anyway. They only see the clip and they only know of the clip because that's what you see on social media. So I just started with the clips. I find like a minute to 90 second long, tidbits that I could talk about. I post that, pretend it's from a podcast, and then people will ask, "Hey, where's the full length? Where's the full length?" So building the demand before I actually make it, and I love it. I love talking on camera, and it's fun, especially with my acting background. And I'm still, figuring out exactly the format for it, but I just come up with a cool fact or find a cool fact, and then I talk about it.
Is there usually another person, or is it you talking to you?
It's me talking to me. Yeah.
Respect, dude.
So the first couple we did, it was 2 people, and we recorded both of us, and we just talk for 15 minutes and have like 3 or 4 topics we'd want to hit. And then I realized that my wife was like, "Hey, that's wasting time. Like, just get the minute you want to hit." So I would still look at a person as if there's another person there, but there wasn't. Sometimes she would sit there to like,
he's an
help me.
actor.
Yeah,
He's got
really
it down.
convincing.
Thank you.
He's got it down.
And then these last few, I've just been straight down the barrel.
Just down the barrel to the camera.
Down
okay.
the barrel.
Wow.
I love that.
I have one other question about your film, new film, just making films in general. When you're deciding like the style of the film, right? Like you create a shot list. Where do you draw inspiration from as far as like what you want, like the style of the film to look like?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it will come first and foremost from the writer when they're writing the script and what they envision for the world you're building. But there's a lot of really key people that are a part of bringing that to life. Whether it's your director talking about in tangent with the DP and what you want this stylistically to feel like, or it's the production designer talking about, this room and this set and how we're going to build this to match the characters. But a specific tool that I'll use that's very helpful is Shot Deck. It's got 4K frames. It's not a plug, but it's a plug. It's got 4K frames of beautiful movies, and you can look up wide shot or exterior, interior, and you can type color tones and shot angles and find just beautiful imagery. But usually I would say it's like writer, director, and then working with the DP to figure out exactly what it's going to look like. Each person along the line is breathing so much life into the project.
Shot Deck's a sweet platform.
Yeah, Shot Deck
I've never-
sponsor the
Yeah.
podcast.
I gotta
You haven't
check
used it?
No.
Oh, it's so
it's
sick.
really
Yeah.
It's a beautiful little platform.
really cool.
Yeah, I gotta check
Is
it
there
out.
is there another platform that you use that is very helpful in the pre-production process that you could share with us? Or if there is anything else?
You ever scroll through eye candy just for fun?
what's that?
Oh, you
it's the
should check out
coolest,
iCandy.
dude.
Really?
EYECNDY.
Yeah, it's spelt weird.
Yeah.
It's basically just all the different like visual
Components
styles
of
They're
videos,
just like weird, so it's
music
like
videos,
match
movies,
cut, fixed camera, rolling camera, like
crash
dolly
zoom, all kinds of cool
and you can
shit.
just click through all and there's all like the coolest GIF examples. Basically.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
They have
and
an
it's
Instagram
free.
channel, too.
And it's free.
Wow, I
Yeah.
gotta look into
You
that.
should check out the Instagram's great. I like every day they'll highlight either a different DP or a different director, and they'll have like frames from.
Their Instagram's the coolest.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
Wow, I gotta check that out.
It's grown like wildfire this last
Candy.
year.
No, I never
Yeah.
heard of it.
Yeah, it's great.
I mean, Google Drive is my best friend for keeping organized. We used Studio Binder on smaller productions, but everybody now, whether it's the AD or the line producer or whatever, they're all using Movie Magic, which is like the industry standard for making your budgets, making your schedules, making your call sheets.
Movie magic.
Movie Magic. yeah.
Okay. Wow.
There's Movie Magic budgeting. There's Movie Magic scheduling. And that's like the main program. that
They have
people
like a
use.
monopoly. You got to pay like $200 a month, and you get everything.
Pretty much.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
Classic.
that's
Pretty
what they
much.
all do, dude.
Yep.
They're just trying to get every
Oh,
fucking
of course,
every
of course.
subscription,
subscription.
dude.
Never
Every-
a one-time thing. you know?
Never, dude.
Everyone's getting drained.
So in the next 6 to 12 months, do you think that it's going to be really focusing on filming this movie, or we're filming in 4 weeks?
Filming in 4 weeks for 13 days.
Okay, and then in the next 6 to 12 months, we're going to definitely have that edited. What do you think is later down this pipeline this year?
So one of the things I'm, really trying to do is like, I love moving quickly. I love trying to do in 6 months what takes most people 6 years. Like that example I said with the pre-production. So I'm going to move fast on the things that are building with momentum, but simultaneously I'm making sure that I have my ducks in a row for the projects that are really going to make a statement, really show this is what we're all about. The way that A24 is such a beautifully branded cult following company, I have all of that stuff that I'm developing, but these first few projects are like, let me prove that we can make money from movies. Let me prove that we can get great actors, et cetera, production value, all of that. So I'm getting those ducks in a row so that as soon as I continue to figure out distribution, get financing, prove that we can make movies, make money from movies, then I can put on the table the project that's really gonna explode.
I love that.
Do you have that in like your back pocket?
I
You're
do.
like, I know what
Yeah, you know
my
about
big
it.
hitter is.
You know about one of them.
Yeah, true. Oh, dude, this is exciting. I feel like we're sitting at the table with a future like major producer.
I love it.
You know, it's really cool. Honestly, all of us, like, we really are the next generation. We are going to be replacing the people that are running Hollywood right now.
What are we?
I'm
Bitcoin
serious.
and
Oh yeah, dude.
But that's why I say even more how much of a responsibility we have, because the people that are coming after us, they're being born into a very confusing time. And we live in a world that is scary, and a society that's broken in a lot of ways. And we have a responsibility to help kind of guide that as we continue to grow in this industry, because this industry really does affect the world more than anything else. And that's one of the things that I specifically feel called to is the entertainment industry is literally the biggest microphone or speaker to the entire world. And the stuff that gets put out is garbage. And there's so many meaningless films and meaningless content being created. And I want to be in a position where I can make stuff that actually spreads a positive message. And also spreading that message to just the people around you. Because, you know, it's going back to one thing you said earlier about, you know, we're so focused on being great or making great things. The principles or the morals or the things that you stand for doesn't only show in your art. It shows in the people that you create art with, because it's domino effect. And it's that approach of like influencing the influencer. So rather than feeling like you need to say this thing or make this thing that's going to, you know, get hundreds of thousands or millions of views, just do it to the people around you. They might get hundreds of thousands of views. And, you know, if you look back at like, Barnum Bailey, I think his name was, the circus.
Oh yeah, the circus guy.
So he was one of the most brilliant marketers of like all of the world. And you look at some of the things he did, and he was very big on influencing the influencer. And basically, instead of trying to get your resume on the desk of the person that you want it to be and in their hands, you get it to somebody else that will feel so inclined to bring it to them. So like if you had a specific person you wanted on your podcast, find out who in their network would be excited enough to show it to them rather than getting it to the person yourself. And it might be an easier in. So that's
like
influencing the influencer.
I love that. What do you think is some of the best advice that you've ever received?
I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know. I have to come back to that one.
No worries. What would you tell? We'll finish it off with this. What would you tell your 18-year-old self before you hopped on this journey, before you moved out to LA, before you made your first movie? What would you tell that person?
Just start making things sooner. Yeah, just start making things sooner. It didn't unlock in my brain. I thought I had to rely on other people or wait for things. And it's crazy. It's like iPhones look amazing. And ultimately, the important thing is just coming up with cool ideas in the story. If you have that, you could shoot it on a flip phone. You know, you could have no lighting equipment or great lighting equipment. All of that stuff doesn't matter. Just make stuff. Just make stuff that you're excited about, and just keep doing it. And I will say too, like because we have to make money. That's just a part of life. We have bills. Make as much money as you can in the least amount of time as possible. As much money in the least amount of time, because then it opens up your time to focus on the things that you're excited about.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into episode 94 of the 505 podcast. If you're still here, please leave us a like, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you all next week. Peace. Woo!